Wrestling Twitter seriously needs to be stopped. Something needs to be done about wrestling Twitter. Okay, this whole hashtag end men's wrestling thing, and it's not just that. I mean, that didn't help the cause, but there's so much stuff on wrestling Twitter which I just need to vent about, and that's what this Elitist effect is going to be. It's going to be a pretty entertaining one because the amount of cretins I've seen on wrestling Twitter in the past couple of days, it's actually frightening. Okay, there's so many different examples of people, and I don't know how I can even call them people. Some of the things I see, I'm thinking to myself, a living, breathing human being has just sent that on social media. They shouldn't be allowed to breathe, and they're people who are sending this stuff. Okay, people with two brain cells the brain cells don't even rub together. These are the people on wrestling Twitter. Wrestling Twitter is a cesspool of just toxic filth. So that's what this elitist effect is going to be. Basically, I'm going to be going through a bunch of this hashtag end men's wrestling stuff. I'm going to be going through a bunch of different kind of types of accounts. Basically, you guys are going to be pretty entertained, I'm pretty sure. Additionally, I'll probably talk about Becky Lynch and her acting at the end of the video, because this elitist effect was going to be all about Becky Lynch and her acting career. But after seeing what's happened in the past few days with hashtag end men's wrestling, this has to be the headline of this latest effect. I have to talk about this because some of you guys, or the ones of you who follow my Twitter, which once again I'll link down below, the people who follow my Twitter were treated to me retweeting with comments a bunch of these hashtag end men's wrestling posts. And it's just the most mindless drivel. I'm going to get into it now. So for one, the whole hashtag end men's wrestling thing, from what I've gathered and what I've ascertained, which just means another fancy word for gathered, from what I've gathered, basically a bunch of Bella Twins stans started this, I believe, because that story about what the Bella Twins went through, especially Nikki Bella in her youth, and then now she became successful or something, and it's just this big anti-men kind of, not propaganda campaign, but social media quote-unquote movement that a bunch of people with literally one brain cell were trying to get on social media. So the amount of times they kept retweeting and sharing this one 30-second video of the Bella Twins, which has this corny music in the background, just made me crack up laughing over and over. So my first engagement with one of these people was an account named @TheBellasEffect, who tweeted, "You men wish you looked this good." And then they have hashtag endmenswrestling and a video of Cameron. You remember Cameron? One of the Funkadactyls? The Funkadactyls, the one who came out dancing with Brodus Clay and Tensai. Okay, Cameron, literally a 30-second video of her with seductive music, literally dancing and doing all this random crap, and I quote tweet that saying, "This woman botched pinning someone, 2 crying emojis." So, right there you can see the level of intelligence of these numpties on social media. You men wished you looked this good. And then I have to, as I said, just respond, "This woman botched pinning someone." And this is why you want to end men's wrestling. You want men's wrestling to end because a woman who shouldn't have even been in the WWE, for some reason, was in matches and she botched pinning someone. Now, I'm not saying that everyone has to be bloody Okada or Ibushi out here doing 45-minute near-fall matches, dropping each other on necks and stuff. But to say that you need to be a great wrestler and you have people like Cameron botching pinning, I'd assume pinning, just based off common sense, is one of the most simple parts of pro wrestling. Okay? You lie on someone who is on their back, you lie on them in some capacity, whether you hook the leg, you hook 2 legs, you get an arm over them, it's a wrestling pin. The referee counts, and you see if you can get the 3 count. But not Cameron, she couldn't even do that. And this is the person who you want pro wrestling in the men's fraternity to end, because you want Cameron to succeed, because you wish men looked, you men wish you looked this good. I don't wish I looked like Cameron. You think I'm sitting here as just a random guy thinking, "Damn, I wish I looked like Brie Bella." What? What? Are you kidding me? Are you for real? Really? So there's that was just the first example. Then I got into this, not mini argument, but I went back and forth, so to speak, with this person at Barbie's Glow, who says, I'm not going back and forth with a person who likes men's wrestling. Hashtag end men's wrestling. And I, just reading that comment, I'm not going back and forth with a person who likes men's wrestling. I literally put my phone down and started laughing. I can't imagine what this person looks like, okay? I'm not going back and forth to someone who likes men's wrestling. That's the majority of people who watch wrestling. Okay? I don't know where this has come from. When did this surge of actually a few years ago, I can answer that question easily, but when did this surge of just anti-men's wrestling and people who think women's wrestling is the way to go, where did this come from? Okay? I'm definitely not saying that I need every women's match to be Jerry Lawler doing bikini contests screaming as someone like Becky Lynch is wearing a piece of string. That's not what I'm saying. I did a whole women's revolution elitist effect like a few weeks ago. But what I am saying is that if you think women's wrestling is the end-all be-all and men's wrestling is evil, horrible, and needs to go, use a brain. You can't be saved. Why would you think that? If the whole 3-hour Raw was just women, the show would get like 100,000 viewers. And they'd all be SJWs. Okay, no one would watch that. And I'm not saying men's wrestling's great by any means. Men's wrestling sucks at the moment. Men's wrestling's dead. So is women's wrestling. Wrestling as a whole is just dead. But to say that men's wrestling needs to end and women's wrestling's the almighty end-all be-all, none of these people have given a reason why. I didn't see one legitimate reason why on social media. So that's another person who I responded quote tweeting that person who said, I'm not going back and forth with a person who likes men's wrestling. I quote tweet respond saying, no one wants to go back and forth with someone who has the IQ of a peanut, okay? A tweet like that embarrasses you. Legit, why don't you present one good reason why men's wrestling is so horrible and women's wrestling should be all we see? Hashtag WWE. So that's what I quote tweeted. Pretty self-explanatory. This person gives no good reason. They're just I don't even know what is the purpose of this person at Barbie's Glow tweeting that. So that's what we got there. And then it just carried on. Then we got one person who, at ZC Chilling, they tweet, no clue why hashtag end men's wrestling is trending, but I support it, but only for the white men. The men of color can stay. I'm not going to get into a racism debate. I don't want this to get racial by any means. But are you kidding me? Really? So you want a WWE where it's just random black guys and women? What kind of SJW BS is this? Like, just what? What? I mean, Grant, I guess if you wanted to have an all men of color, which, for one, just say black or, like, just be more specific, don't men of color. But to think that people want men of color and getting rid of white men, that's just racist. Like, are you kidding me? So I responded to that with a gif of literally Ralph Wiggum rolling down a hill just because I can. So, wrestling Twitter, dude. And then I proceed to get... This exchange sums up the whole hashtag end men's wrestling, I guess, movement, hashtag, whatever. This exchange sums up the whole thing. So, an account named at Yeetolls, I hope I pronounced that wrong because that's what they deserve, at Yeetolls says, all the men are mad over a hashtag, but it's still hashtag end men's wrestling till the end. And there's some video of two, I'm going to use social justice terms here, women of color just bickering for like 30 seconds. So I quote tweet response saying, I can assure all of you I do not feel mad over this mindless hashtag. I'd say I feel all of the following: bemused, entertained, but above all else, befuddled. Humanity has fallen so far, folks. Hashtag WWE. So that's what I tweeted. Then, like a minute later, literally this same account at Yeetolls quote tweets and literally says, anyways, hashtag end men's wrestling, and then a 30-second video of Nikki Bella with like seductive music. I pissed myself laughing. I quote tweeted that with just the crying emoji, like laugh crying emoji, like 6 times. Are you kidding me? That exchange right there sums up this hashtag end men's wrestling for the people who actually believe in it. Okay, you get a video with no basis, no reasoning, saying, oh, end men's wrestling. I respond with a valid argument saying how laughable the hashtag is, how they can't present one good reason. They respond with a 30-second video of Nikki Bella literally taking off her ring gear and revealing her other ring gear, and with seductive music in the background and Brie Bella in there. And then I respond with crying, laughing emojis. It's just pathetic. It really is. So, based off this whole hashtag End Men's Wrestling thing, I'm now going to be doing a Total Bellas, like, roasting, laughing at, brutally honest review video. I don't know when that's coming out, but you guys have got to look forward to a roasting Total Bellas, because the Bella Twins, a bulk of their fans, like their stan accounts, sourced this, and this leads me on to the next point in this video. Stan accounts, I mentioned them in my 9 types of WWE fans video. I'm going to have to do another little tirade on them. Stan accounts need to be stopped, okay? In these past few days, I've seen a scary amount of accounts which have, like, at Mr. Blissfit. Yes, there's Alexa Bliss fans have a thing called the Bliss Fits. I didn't know this existed, and quite frankly, I wish I didn't. I lost physical IQ points finding out that there's a thing called the Bliss Fits. Are you kidding me? The Bliss Fits? Like, imagine being imagine being anyone and having a social media account that's a stan account called at the Bliss Fits. Alexa Bliss is #1 fan. Bliss for life. Alexa Bliss is my love. I love Bliss. Bliss this. And it's not just Alexa Bliss. The worst stan accounts, or the most common stan accounts, you've got Alexa Bliss, which love to repost pictures of Alexa Bliss no matter what the context. Okay? It's downright creepy. If you're just like a man and you're reposting that, even if you're a woman, like, surely you've got, like, better things you can do. You can, progress towards a greater goal, a desire, a dream, an ambition. For man and woman alike, you can progress towards a goal, a career path. But instead, you're sitting there desperately hunting through Alexa Bliss pics on Google or Alexa Bliss's Twitter so you can repost the pic on your fan account and get, like, 17 likes from these acne-ridden beards who think this is so attractive. Like, are you kidding me? So, you've got those people, the Alexa Bliss stan accounts. You've got Sasha Banks ones, which, I mean, I'm a Sasha Banks fan myself. Am I a big fan of her to the extent of posting pictures of Sasha Banks with her blue hair on SmackDown wearing whatever? No. I think that's just creepy. And personally, here's my thing. I'm sure Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss and all these people, they appreciate their fans, but I don't think some of these people who are just creeps, okay, wrestling Twitter is full of these people who are just creeps. They've no social interaction ability. They can't express their points in a way that makes sense. You can tell these people, like, don't get any, so to speak. So they're resorted to, leaving, like, creepy comments. KO fan, I know he posted this on his one of his YouTube videos, like a meme video. But this one guy, I'm not going to go back and find it because this was so disgusting. The guy, I think his name is like Trevor, who, there was a picture of Becky Lynch and like a physical goat, like a 2-picture post on Twitter saying, what's the difference? Like, I'll wait. And the person responded talking about, it was so disgusting. You guys who've seen this know exactly what I mean, but this person talking about Becky Lynch and her, I didn't want to say this is so disgusting, like, Becky Lynch and her, like, juices? Like, what even is this? These people exist. And granted, this guy isn't someone who has a stan account because he has literally 0 Twitter followers, and I can see why after a comment like that. But you have these, like, creepy people who just obsess over these women. Like, you think because you post 17 pictures a day of Sasha Banks that she's gonna give you some. Like, no! Sasha Banks thinks you're a creep, okay? Just please stop. It's such a toxic cesspool of just filth on social media, okay? Like, once again, I'm all for liking and supporting any wrestler, but having an obsessive stan account where literally if someone who isn't a fan of this person goes on the stan account and says, I don't really like this wrestler, then they get death threats. Like, I got into an exchange with an Alexa Bliss fan where I was like, what are you doing with your life? Seriously, surely there's bigger things you can do in your life. And they were like, oh, yeah, I don't want to repeat what they said. It's not safe for my YouTube channel. Like, these people need to be stopped. So you've got like Alexa Bliss accounts, like Mr. Blissfit. You've got Sasha Banks stans. You've got Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan has heaps of stans. I don't know where they've come from. Liv Morgan has way too many stan accounts. Like, literally, the amount of times I'll go to like hashtag WWE Raw to try and like engage with the conversation, and you just see like there isn't even a Liv Morgan match going on, but you see at You Only Live Once, and there's someone saying, "Oh, Liv Morgan, you're amazing. I'm so excited for Liv. We want Liv. Live, live, live." Like, seriously? We want Liv, live, live. No, we don't. You stans do. The bulk doesn't need more live, live, live. Okay? It's just... So, Liv Morgan, who else? There's even... I'm forgetting some off the top of my head. I mean, Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax stan accounts are the absolute worst. Okay? Literally, I mentioned this the other day, but I posted this thing on Twitter. I'll see if I can find it now. But basically, Charlotte Flair posted one of her usual kind of same old stories. Like, she posted one of these things that says, like, oh, you can't deny greatness or something. Just her holding the NXT Women's Championship. One of these things Charlotte Flair always posts. And I proceed to respond by quote tweeting. I forget what I said. Basically, I said, by the time you win your 17th women's title, the Raw ratings will be below 1 million. And thank God, that actually got all positive reactions. I got like 24 likes. That got just a heap of positive energy. But at the same time, is most of the time in like comment sections like the Charlotte Flair one with that, so Charlotte posts, oh, you can't deny greatness. You'll have these numpties on social media who, like, they have a picture of Charlotte Flair, Charlotte fan, or Charlotte Flair for life, 427, and a picture of Charlotte holding the NXT Women's Championship, and they respond, yeah, Charlotte, you tell them you're the GOAT. They hating on greatness. Like, these people need to be helped, okay? These are people who get tattoos which say, only God can judge me, okay? No, everyone can judge you because you're a clown. I don't know where I pulled that from, but the same kind of people. These people who have the IQ of a peanut, who are living on social media, living on wrestling Twitter, saying, oh, Alexa Bliss, I love you, Alexa Bliss. Please retweet me so I can put in my Twitter bio, hashtag retweeted by Bliss. Like, these people hurt my soul. Okay, wrestling Twitter needs to be seriously stopped. It really does. So you go from a hashtag end men's wrestling, which a lot of that was, you know, a lot of people who are using the hashtag, like myself included, I tweeted out, I'll see if I can find it, but I basically tweeted something out to the effect of, I mean, anyone who uses this, you know, is it like a clown or something? I'll find it in a minute, but seriously, this whole end men's wrestling thing, as I said, a lot of people use the hashtag, we're just clowning, but, I mean, for real, people were seriously using that hashtag. Oh, here we go. So I tweeted yesterday, or 2 days ago now, so with hashtag end men's wrestling trending, I'll say this, if you're a man and believe that hashtag, then you're a brainwashed white knight. For the women that believe men's wrestling needs to go, without quote-unquote men's wrestling, there wouldn't be wrestling. This is a laughable quote-unquote movement with no basis. And then I put a gif of Alexa Bliss looking all angry. So, yeah, that's the whole situation. Wrestling Twitter is ridiculous. Wrestling Twitter needs to be stopped. Wrestling Twitter needs to be dealt with. Okay, the fact that social media, it's a gift and a curse. So much wonderful stuff can happen on social media. You can interact with people who you'd never before meet, who have the same common goal, same common hobby in a positive, productive manner. Then you get people who send tweet 30-second videos of the Bella Twins shaking their butts and putting seductive music in the background, saying hashtag end men's wrestling, and then you respond saying, what are you trying to achieve? And they reply to you with that same video of the Bella Twins shaking their butts and then having seductive music over it. Something ain't adding up. Seriously. So, that's the whole thing about wrestling Twitter. Wrestling Twitter, it's just something that needs to be done. Some of these people, like a bulk of them, shouldn't be allowed to use social media. Okay? You guys who are my fans, who I engage with, like, I find it entertaining tweeting along during these shows, actually having a brain and watching these shows for what they are. For people who, this isn't even about stands or end men's wrestling, but people who, like, I'm filming this before SmackDown, keep in mind, people who are saying, for this current SmackDown show that's coming up tonight, oh, like, what's your excitement level for SmackDown? People saying 7 and 8, and then you're saying, I ask them why, and then they're saying, Jeff Hardy's returning, man! Jeff Hardy is coming back! And then I'm responding, he returned 6 weeks ago. Do you not remember that? Is your brain with an IQ of 17, not good enough to remember? And then they just respond, oh, well, but at least there's wrestling on, man. All you do is be negative, man. It's just, it's a cesspool of toxicity on wrestling social media. It really is. Wrestling Twitter, wrestling social media as a whole, given the pro wrestling fan base is still around, the abysmal, through the floor wrestling fan base, it doesn't really surprise me how many people with a brain have tuned out. Okay, most of the people with a brain who can see that WWE has no directions, producing garbage, most of those people tune out over the course of the 20 years since the Attitude Era. And now we're in this state in 2020 where, outside of like a few of you in the community who I genuinely think are actually intelligent when it comes to just life, like, Brian and Wrestling with Heat, Wrestling Mixtape, JT Dangerously, Sean Rated R, like a bunch of you guys who I think are actually, intelligent with stuff. Then you get people like this, where it's like, oh, Alexa Bliss fan, Bliss cross applesauce, Bliss fit, Sasha Banks fan 0247. These people who shouldn't be allowed to walk the same earth as me, or walk the same earth with people who have brain cells. So that's the wrestling Twitter rant. Something needs to be done, and yeah, that's basically. I mean, I might just call the Elitist Effect video there. Stuff Becky Lynch interacting. I don't really care about Becky Lynch interacting. Neither do any of you. So this is just going to be like a bonus Elitist Effect. This rant needed to be done. Wrestling Twitter is the most toxic cesspool of cretins and people with like an IQ of 4 with one brain cell that doesn't even work. Okay, these people. Something needs to be done. That's the video. Like, comment, sub. You guys know the drill. Leave down below your thoughts on wrestling Twitter. See ya.